here's some action from the 2016 Big Dog Dart Tournament. This is an American-style darting event. The game is baseball and the innings are 1 through 9. It's a singles event. There are no partners. There is no handicap. And in the first match of the afternoon, we've drawn two heavyweights from the American dart scene. Chris Kuehn and Joe Haganey will be facing off. Chris has had success with his game. As a member of the Raven's Nest, he's been in the winner's circle at the Pennsylvania State Dart Tournament on 6 different occasions. Joe is a state dart tournament veteran as well. Besides being one of the organizers of the event, Joe competes with his team, Haganey's Aces. They won their first state title in 2002 and overall have 5 titles to their credit. I should mention that although these two are competitors, they definitely know each other. In fact, they came to today's event riding in the same car, which sets us up for this afternoon's first long ride home matchup. Because in the end, one of these guys will come out of this match with a victory, and the other one is destined for what will be, you get it. After trading 5s in the second inning, Chris toes the line to begin the third, finding himself down by 1. Perfect first dart, follows it up with a second red, and he completes the bucket of blood. That's textbook dart shooting right there. Deep in the blue with his first dart. Haganey finds the spot with his second. Wide right on dart number 3. First 2 dart triples in the 4th inning for Chris. Are we looking at today's first white horse? No, bad kiss out into the blue. Chris walks away with 6 for that inning. Joe immediately starts a solid 4th of his own, counters with 5, so he drops 1 point. And Chris begins nailing reds again in the 5th. 2 darts, 2 reds. That's hard to see, but it's in the trip. He walks away with 7 points on the top of the 5th. Determined not to lose any more ground, Joe is putting together a solid 5th of his own. A red with his 3rd dart means they've traded 7s in the 5th inning. Chris is throwing those sneaky 3rd darts. That looks like it's 6 for the inning. Not the inning that Joe wanted to put together. Chris now has an 8-point lead going into the final stanza, and it looks like catching up is going to be difficult as he puts together another 6 points all red. But Joe is going deep and hitting in the 7th, countering with a 7. So he's picked up a point, and Chris has begun to miss darts. Stumbling in the 8th inning, that's a 2 for the inning. Still, Chris is up by 9, and that's hard to make up. But one way to do it is to land triples. Oh! What would look like an opportunity just slipped away, but this looks like another opportunity might be coming Haganey's way. Chris misses with his first dart, but it looks as though he's closed the door by nailing his second darts and walking away from the 9th with the 5. And that puts things out of reach despite Joe's first bucket of blood for the afternoon. Chris takes game number 1 of the match, 46-43. Chris will be shooting the top of the inning in the second game of the match as well, and it looks like he's off to a strong start. Wide right with his 3rd dart, but the first 2 hit the reds. He'll walk away from the first inning with 4 points. Joe does manage to land all 3 darts in the red. A bucket of blood to start the game, 6-4 lead, and Chris immediately comes out firing the second. 5 points laying, and on the wrong side of the wire with his 3rd dart. Joe's looking at the same situation as Chris in the bottom of the second. With 5 laying, he does manage to stick his third dart. He walks away with 7 points, and that gives him a 4-point lead going into the third inning. After going deep blue with his first dart, Chris recovers, walks away from the third inning with 5 points. Joe counters with 5 of his own. With a red and a trip to start, Chris has a chance to pick up some ground in the 4th inning. Nails his third dart into the red, he walks away with 7. Solid first start from Joe. Trip and a single. Chris is able to pick up a point. Joe counters a 7 with a 6 in the 4th. Chris comes out firing in the 5th. First 2 darts are trips. And we have our first white horse of the afternoon. If you're going to pick up points, putting everything in the trip is probably a good way to go about it. Joe counters with his first dart in the trip. Joe lands all 3 darts, picks up 6 points in the 5th. Things are tied after 5. Chris scores points with all of his darts and picks up 6 in the top of the 6th. Joe's first dart in the inning is high red. Second dart is low red. And he lands his third dart in a trip, picks up 7, ekes out a 1-point lead after 2 stanzas. Chris comes out firing in the 7th. Trip, red. Can he land this? Oh, south into the blue. It's hard to curse 5s. Haganey's first dart's in the blue, finds his mark with his second dart, and fills in a 5 of his own in the bottom of the 7th. First dart trip yet again for Chris in the 8th. Second dart solid red. 5 laying, and this time his third dart doesn't miss. He walks away from the 8th inning with 7 points, 48 for his total. Haganey mimics Chris with first dart trip, second dart red. Couldn't land his third dart. We're looking at 48-47 heading into the 9th. Wrong side of the wire with Chris's first dart. He manages a red with his second, and his third dart misses the mark. Going into the inning, he was up by 1. After 9, he has 50. Joe needs 3 to tie, 4 to win. First dart's perfect. Second dart into the blue. Third dart, he lands a single. 3 to tie. 50-50 after 9. Joe prepares himself. Chris takes the line. Moving into the 10th inning. High with his first dart. Wide with his second. 2 points. Joe looking at 2 to tie, has it with his first dart. His second dart sneaks into the red as long as nothing falls out. Joe manages a bucket of blood in the 10th inning and walks away 56-52. This match is tied at 1 game apiece. Now the players are shooting at the cork. Closest to or hitting the bullseye gets to determine the shooting order for the final game of the match. And Joe lands a cork. He decides he's pretty happy about it, and it looks like Chris is going to stay as the shooter in the top of the innings for the final game. Chris lands all of his darts in the scoring area, puts up a 4 to start the game. Joe's first dart is deep in the red in the first inning. Second dart is red as well. Third dart wide right, 4-4 after 1. First dart snuck inside the red for the second inning. Chris's second dart at the inning goes deep in the blue. His third dart finds the mark, walks away with 5 points. Just like last inning, Joe has 5 laying in the second and sticks his third dart for a 7. Chris comes out going deep in the third, 5 points laying after 2 darts. He fills in a 7 as well. Joe starts out by missing in the blue. His second dart lands squarely in the red. His third dart at the third inning goes deep into the blue. 16-13, Chris after the first stanza. Chris's first 2 darts are reds, follows it up with a triple, posts back-to-back 7 innings. Joe goes 1, 2, 3 in the 4th inning for 6 points total. Chris starts out the top of the 5th with a trip, puts another dart in the scoring area, and he lands his 3rd dart, although he seems unhappy with his 5 for the inning. It does put him up by 9. Joe starts out the 5th with a red, lands a trip on top of it, fills in a red for 7 in the bottom of the inning. Chris's first dart in the 6th is wide into the blue, his 2nd is high. He'll steady himself here and make sure he walks away from the inning with some points, and he does. Here's an opportunity for Joe. His first dart is deep in the red, his 2nd is in the trips. He's got a chance for a big inning here, and he makes sure to get points with his final dart. He walks away with 6. Chris trails by 2 heading into the final stanza. He puts up 5 in the top of the 7th inning. Joe's first dart trip, 2nd dart in the blue. That's a 3rd dart trip for 6 in the inning. He grows his lead to 3. Chris bears down, and in the 8th, his first dart's in the red. His 2nd dart follows in the red as well. It's an opportunity to put together a big inning. He lands his 3rd dart, 6 points all red. That puts him up by 3. Joe's first dart is in the red. 2nd dart wide into the blue. He's down by 1 holding a dart, and he misses with his 3rd dart. That gives Chris a 1-point lead heading into the 9th. First dart trip, 2nd dart trip. This is looking good. Chris makes sure to land his 3rd dart, and he does. He puts it in the red. That's 8 for him in the top of the 9th inning, plus his 1-point lead. This puts Joe right up against the wall. Joe's first dart is in the blue. Nothing he could do is going to make a difference at this point. Chris walks away from this 3rd game with a win. He gets a win in the match. The 3rd game went from back to 4th to back to 4th again. Final score of 49-40. Chris will advance in the winner's bracket, and Joe is going to be bumped into the 1-loss bracket for the rest of today's activity. Once again, this was action from match number 1 of the 2016 Big Dog Dart Tournament.